Before the video does begin, Gamer Subs is currently collaborating with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. All 5 parts are on display here, getting their own unique art. There's a new flavor, and you can get 10% off and support the channel by using code ESPADA. Alright, Lanta, so we are officially 2 months away from the 10th anniversary. However, as tradition, a month earlier, June 23rd, we get our first signs of the upcoming anniversary with a whole teaser trailer, giving us enough hints to speculate for an entire month. These are always a fun time. The community comes together just to spitball random ideas, theorize who the characters could be for what normally is a very exciting time. But for today's video, a whole month before they even tease the trailer on May 23rd, we're here to give a final prediction, I guess, or at least our first set of final predictions on who I think could be seen during the upcoming 10th anniversary. Now, for today's video, we have 2 different tier lists to go over. One, assuming the anniversary is based on canon characters, so in this case, 1000 Year Blood War, and our second tier list is based on the assumption that the anniversary will go back to original designed characters. I think this year, given that it's 10 years in the making, both are honestly possible, and I think both will be exciting. I'm also on the side that I want original characters this year, since 10 years of Brave Souls is a massive deal compared to any past anniversary. But even if the anniversary are canon characters, it also does mark the beginning of Season 3 characters in Brave Souls. So for those that have been waiting for Raijin Senkei Yoruichi, Oryu's Volstundich, Shunsui's Bankai, they are all possible from July onwards. So no matter the outcome, I think it's going to be very exciting, and let's talk about who I think we could see during this year's anniversary. So in this case, the list of characters that we do have outlined here are all characters that have been part of the Guess Who campaign, either previous years or likely to be seen this year, as we will begin Season 3 of 1000 Year Blood War. For those that don't know, whenever the teaser trailer is revealed, Caleb give us a list of characters, where 2 out of the names given will be seen in the anniversary. This is a way for you to potentially win some official Brave Souls merch, as if you do guess the name right and tweet it out, there's a chance you could win said merch. But for the most part, this allows us to narrow down the list of characters, especially last year where there wasn't that many names. So I've included all the characters that have been in past lists, and I've also included some other characters that are likely to be appearing in this year's list, assuming it is based on a canon anniversary, because characters like Gerard and also Pineda, you know, they have big moments in Season 3. Or some moments at the very least. But if we go from bottom to top right, first up we have the no chance tier. Let's be honest, none of these characters are going to be even seen during the 10th anniversary. Whether that's part 1, the countdown, or part 2. Now that can be for many reasons. Either 1, a lot of these characters don't even appear in 1000 Year Blood War. And I guess that's a possibility of anniversary being canon and it not be 1000 Year Blood War. But again, given the fact that we are going to kickstart Season 3 of Blood War in July, and given the fact that the previous 2 anniversaries have been 1000 Year Blood War, it seems more likely than Caleb going back and doing Hueco Mundo characters, for example. But yeah, a lot of these characters here don't appear in 1000 Year Blood War, and if they do, they've already had their big moments, or what they do see happen in Season 3 is just very little that maybe doesn't even warrant a new character. When it comes to probably not, these are characters I think have better chances, but with that in mind, still likely not going to be seen during the anniversary, especially part 1. There's a chance some of these characters could appear in part 2, but again, likely not. Maybe even Sanjimaru are likely to receive more 1000 Year Blood War characters, but they're definitely not high priority characters that should be included in the first batch of Season 3 Blood War units. That then takes us into the maybe tier, and this is when we start to include characters that are either 1, more popular, or had a bigger impact in Season 3 of 1000 Year Blood War. A character like Gerard is still not included in the game just yet, and we only now finally started to see some of his abilities. He's definitely going to get a new character, could be seen during part 1, could be seen during part 2, and definitely will be seen after July. Yoruichi showcases her Raijin Senkei form, a super cool moment in my opinion, and as a Yoruichi fan, she hasn't received the character in over 2 years, and funny enough, she's in a very similar situation as Kenpachi was during the 9th anniversary. He was a super popular character, has a cool moment in Season 2, and had yet to receive a new character in over 2 years. But in a way, and the reason why she's not as high, is that there's a big difference. If Yoruichi was to be in the anniversary part 1 more so, that would likely mean she has to be paired with Askin, and he's already gotten a character, and just got a recent seasonal. We do not need another Askin anytime soon. So due to that, it likely lowers the chance of Yoruichi even happening. At the same time, even for canon anniversaries, it has to make sense and there has to be some type of theme behind it. 8th anniversary was the origin of Blades, hence why we got White and also Ichigo, despite them, never ever meeting each other. It was an anniversary highlighting the Blade is me, an important moment in the entirety of Bleach, while also including a new character that we've not yet received before. In the case for Kenpachi and Gremi, both of these characters had not received characters in years. especially Grammy, and at the same time, their fight in Season 2 was the biggest and longest fight, and the theming of their anniversary was actually kind of cool, that being the strongest storyboard versus the strongest Quincy. So in hindsight now, I can kind of understand, even if it was controversial at the time, and I didn't fully accept it, why Kenpachi and Grammy were chosen for the 9th anniversary. In the case for a character like Yoruichi, I just don't know what theme they could come up with, and in a way the same can be said for Nanao, Nemu, and also Aizen. Again, they're definitely going to get 1000 Blood characters, I just don't expect to see them in part 1. Going up into good chance, we have more popular characters in my opinion, characters that have big fights in Season 3. We have Yugrim vs Basby. They have a whole episode dedicated to them and their backstory when they were younger. We have characters like Pinida and also Mayuri. They have a big fight. They're definitely going to get new characters, but I don't know if they can sell part 1 like Kenpachi and even Grammy did in my opinion. Because remember, this is 10 years. It's a bigger deal compared to the 9th and 8th anniversary. So you have to do the biggest named characters in my opinion, and I just don't think Mayuri and also Pinida fit the bill. In a way, the same can be said for these two characters, Ichigo and Yamamoto. Yama in particular hasn't done anything in Season 2 or Season 3. However, his Season 1 character, him activating his Bankai, with the amazing anime visuals, has yet to be adapted in-game. Caliber definitely saving this character for a big occasion, similar to what they did with Fullbring Bankai Ichigo, and they're definitely going to release him for a big occasion, more likely for an end-of-year banner, but you never know. They could do him for the anniversary. I doubt it, but I do think he has a better chance compared to some of the other characters. And you know, one theory that I've seen thrown around a lot that I'd be maybe down for is a head captain anniversary where Yamamoto gets paired with Bankai Shunsui. In a way, they can make Yama work when compared to the other characters below him. In the case of Ichigo, it's a weird one. He's the main character. He is, without a doubt, going to get a character during the 10th anniversary. It happens every single year without fail. The main character, who's surprised, is part of the anniversary. He'll be either included in part 1, part 2, and if he can't be included in any of those parts, he'll be seen somehow in some type of anniversary prelude banner. 9th anniversary, we had Mugetsu released a month prior during the 9th anniversary celebration summons. And then for 6th anniversary, 2nd anniversary, Ichigo got a remake a week before Aizen released and had the whole art book celebration tied alongside him. So Ichigo will be included, but the reason why he doesn't have best chance when it comes to canon anniversary is that we've already gotten a true Shikai Ichigo. Yes, he does have 2 big fights in Season 3 and showcases a different, not different Getsugu Jujisho, but it's animated different in a way. It's shot different. Like, they can actually make a pretty cool looking new Getsugu Jujisho Ichigo that I would be excited about. But for an anniversary part 1, not so much, because we quite literally just received this character like a year and a half ago. It wouldn't be different enough to celebrate an anniversary, if that makes sense. If this character was to be included, true Shikai Ichigo in particular, he would work better as a part 2 unit, and honestly, I wouldn't even mind if he ends up being the Brave Battle character. And it's just more so due to the fact that we just don't need a remake of true Shikai Ichigo right now, even if he did have 2 fights in Season 3. But with that in mind, that brings us to the big 6 characters. In my opinion, these are the 3 bigger fights in Season 3 of 1000 Year Blood War, and also include more popular characters. I'd say Bankai Shunsui is one of the more exciting things to come from Season 3 of Blood War, and by default, Lige would just be paired alongside him, kind of similar to how Kenpachi and Grammy were the 9th anniversary characters. I'm not sure what the theming could be for both of these characters, but I would be excited for them. Again, I feel like they're either part 1 or part 2. A Bankai Shunsui would be absolutely amazing in Brave Souls, especially during a big celebration, and he's kind of like Rukia, right, that we did see released last year. They're not going to release Shunsui outside of a big campaign. He'll be seen in the anniversary or the end of year celebration. It's just too big of a moment to release as a normal end of month banner, and again, by default, Lige would pair alongside him. Likely we'll get Lige in his Volstan ditch, whereas Sobon would be the big giant bird form. Ichibei and also Yuha are kind of just included here because they do have a fight at the start of Season 3. Not like the most exciting moment from Season 3, but they are 2 big named characters in terms of popularity and also lore-wise too, so I kind of just felt like I had to include them in best chance tier. And then maybe like the biggest one, which would feel weird, I will be honest, Renji and also Uryu. Came out of nowhere. These 2 characters fought each other. They expanded on both of the characters' movesets, especially in the case of Renji, who had a very disappointing showing when this character got revealed, as he just ended up being a Brave Battle unit, but a lot of people were accepting of it when we found out that we were going to get a Season 3 Renji showcasing all the new abilities with really cool animation too. The animation was really good in that season, so you know, Volstandich Uryu and the new Bankai Renji that we are eventually going to get, whether that's part 1, part 2, end of year, will be super exciting characters, and And unironically, they have, in my opinion, the best chance to be seen alongside Shunsui and Liege for part 1 of the anniversary, assuming they were to do canon characters. Because again, similar to last year, with Kenpachi and Gremmy, they're going to highlight the biggest fight from that season. And in my opinion, I can't narrow that down to who had the best fight. If it's just strictly 2 characters, it likely is Renji and also Uryu. Because in the case for Pineda and Mayuri, you know, Nemu was included in that fight, so it would be weird for her to get left out. And in the case with Shunsui and Liege, Nanao had a big important factor to that fight, and it would be weird if she got left out. So I guess the Caleb were for some reason to do an anniversary Shunsui and Liege, maybe do include a Nanao, and if for some reason they were to do Pineda, Mayuri, maybe include Nemu as well. That's how I see it going down when it comes to part 1 of the anniversary, assuming it is canon. But then again, assuming anniversary this year is going to be original characters, in a way this serves as a list on what I expect to see during part 2 of the anniversary. Because let's talk about that. Because 10 years is a massive milestone for any game, let alone a mobile game. And I think given this circumstance, I don't think we're getting canon characters this year. Especially with the fact that Ichigo has to be included. Like I said, it's 10 years, you have to have the main character in part 1. I just don't see any other situation. Especially in mind that Ichigo hasn't done anything big in season 3 to warrant a new anniversary part 1 character. It leads me to believe that they're going to go back and do original characters once more, something that we haven't seen since the 7th anniversary. Because there's no better way to celebrate a decade of Brave Souls than have the main character in a new original form, which for the most part what made Brave Souls anniversary super exciting and unique. Again, I don't mind canon anniversaries. I think they can be very exciting. But with an anniversary that's going to celebrate a decade of Brave Souls, I feel like the only option is the original form characters. And in that in mind, right, it has to be Ichigo. If we're going to get original characters for part 1, there's no other character guaranteed other than Ichigo. For the second character, you can speculate a few others, and we'll talk about those in a minute. But if we could go back to the bottom of the list, no chance. These are characters that they aren't going to get original forms. They either 1, already received an original form, 2, maybe have a better chance to appear as part 2 of the anniversary, like again, Shunsui, Yamamoto, and even Uryu. Or 3, some of them just don't deserve original characters. I mean, I would love to see original forms of like the lieutenants, you know, Yumachika, Ikaku, Shuei, for example, but, you know, we're not in a dire rush for that. And we're definitely not going to see that during an anniversary. Probably not on more popular characters and characters that, in my opinion, maybe deserve an original form more than the characters below. You know, I'll still say to this day, Kugo, I think, has been done dirty in Brave Souls. He's a final arc villain that has yet to get an original form, and I feel like they could have done that, but kind of missed the opportunity to do so now that 1000 Year Blood War is the talk of the town. But the reason why these characters likely aren't going to get original forms is that we kind of need to get their characters in the first place. Again, Pineda and Gerard aren't even in the game just yet. And since they're more likely to get characters soon, given their appearance in Season 3, they are not in a desperate need once more to get original forms. The maybe tier are characters that I feel like are a bit more popular. Yugrim and Basby, to be fair, are kind of in the same situation. They have a core 3 fight coming up. They're going to get new characters eventually. Do they need to get original forms? Probably not, but I thought I'd just include them. Orihime is one of the main females of Bleach, one of the main characters. And assuming that Ichigo is guaranteed for an original character, and Ichigo and Orihime, I wouldn't be against it for an anniversary. If Ichibe was to get an original form during the anniversary, I feel like it would have to be paired with Yuhabak. I think that was my prediction last year, and that actually would have been really cool in my opinion, for the same reasons why I ranked Ichibe and Yuha relatively high in the canon tier list. They're 2 popular characters, big named characters in lore. Having both of them have a fight with original powers for Brave Souls would be very cool and unique, and would be super exciting for a anniversary. But maybe not for the 10th anniversary. So that then leads us into the final 4 characters. If we are to get original forms, and Ichigo should be guaranteed, right, he's the main character, it only makes sense to pair Ichigo with Rukia, the second main character of Bleach. A popular female character that got kind of done dirty with her 1000 Year Blood War character. She's actually a good character, but, you know, wasn't what we wanted. So she is in a way in need of a comeback, in my opinion, in Brave Souls. And at the same time, they've not done an anniversary Rukia somehow in 10 years of Brave Souls. 9 years at the very least. It could happen for 10th Annie. She's also a super popular character, the most popular character in the game at this point, that has yet to receive an original form. Rukia has been a character that a lot of people wanted to see for a anniversary for the last like 7 years, 8 years even. And every year, without fail, those Rukia fans get disappointed. However, I feel like this year is the best chance of us getting an anniversary Rukia. Because in a way, round 14 of 1000 Year Blood War was the ending of 1000 Year Blood War for the time being. Caleb didn't know if they were going to continue Blood War characters, and they didn't for the next 2 years. characters. That was such a big moment, wrapping up the 1000-year Blood War arc in Brave Souls, that they ended it with 10 years later Ichigo and Rukia. And that banner, in my opinion, is kind of in the same situation that we are in right now. It's 10 years. It's the biggest anniversary to date. Even if we get 5 more anniversaries, they won't be bigger than a whole decade. The next big anniversary after this is probably 20 years. So another 10 years. That's too long away to even talk about. So I don't think there's any better character to celebrate an anniversary than the 2 main characters in original forms. Ichigo has so much going for him that he can always get a bunch of original forms, and Rukia again has yet to get one. But at the same time, they could go down a different route, give us an anniversary original Yhwach. He's the main villain of Bleach, at least the final one. So they could do something really cool with him, and I honestly wouldn't mind that. In all honesty, I could see it going any route. Ichigo Rukia, Ichigo Yhwach, and of course Ichigo Aizen, with Aizen getting another original form. That one maybe seems less likely, to be fair, because we've yet to see another character get 2 original forms other than Ichigo. But given the fact that Ichigo has Holo powers, Soripa powers, Quincy powers, Fullbring powers, there's a lot you can do with him for an original character, you know? For characters like Aizen, and to be fair, all the other Soripas that have already received original forms, would they even look unique enough to warrant an anniversary character? I'm not too sure. So maybe Aizen is in the maybe tier, in all honesty, but I really do believe this year, it'll be 2 of these 4 characters. Ichigo's guaranteed. It's either Ichigo and Rukia, Ichigo Yuha, Ichigo Aizen. And personally, this year, like I've already stated, I want to see original formed characters. For an anniversary as big as this, we need to do what made Brave Souls' anniversary special and go back to original formed anniversaries. The years following, I think we can go back to canon, especially because 11th anniversary onwards could actually be, you know, final fight stuff when Core 4 is officially animated and finished. So I feel like this is the one year that, yeah, we have to go back to original forms. And that's my prediction. This is what I think the anniversary characters will be if it's original forms. And this is what I think the 10th anniversary will be if it's canon characters. With that said, hope you like to enjoy the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.